This is going to be a tutorial of Maze 4.0 given to you by Mass Producer. I would recommend using this as an individual level guide if you get stuck on a single part of the maze rather than as a tutorial for the entire maze, as you will ruin the challenge for yourself. Before we begin, I'd recommend you be on at least 1.14 because you need the ability to crawl, however no items are required. If you have already unlocked the entrance to the maze, you can simply type /maze and it will teleport you there. If you have not, typing /maze will give you this command, which gives you a hint to the maze's location, which is the volcano. Well, the Caldera Caverns within the volcano, I suppose. The volcano is in the northwest of spawn at -513, 122, -719. From there, simply follow along the path in the Caldera Caverns until you reach a lava fall. Jump in the lava, it will have about an 80-20 chance of sending you to maze or lobby due to the server messing up sometimes. If it sends you to lobby, you have to walk all the way back, unfortunately. It shouldn't happen twice in a row. Not going to show that part since it's just 10 minutes of walking for no reason, but once you're there, that's where the tutorial will begin. First of all, a key part of the maze is collecting 12 separate buttons hidden throughout the maze. Those 12 buttons will allow you to skip a hard parkour later. The first of those buttons will be in this nether fortress, near where you spawn in the maze. It is also worth noting that if it is your first time in the maze, you may sometimes spawn in the upper area. Just drop down. The first button is here at 40, 95, -13. I'd recommend being close to it and pressing it multiple times at multiple angles just to be sure, because if you don't get one of the buttons, you will not be able to skip the parkour. I've seen people press it, but they were too far away and it just didn't work, so you don't want that to happen to you. The second button will be up this lava fall. Again, these buttons are not required, but unless you want to do a difficult parkour, I would recommend collecting them. The message will always say 1 out of 12, that was just something wrong with the command blocks, I suppose, but it still counts as 12. You can either crawl back across the lava and go across the path to get to the actual, I suppose, first puzzle of the maze. Alternatively, you can go the direction I'm going. Doing this simply gets you there faster. If you went along the normal path, there's a bridge and then a tunnel, and it'll lead you up here, and you'll simply drop down from a higher point. But you can also do it right here, and it takes a couple less minutes, so we're going to do it that way. Just let the redstone take you. Once you've achieved that, there will be 2 more buttons before you go into this glass maze puzzle. The first button will be in the northwest corner. Same thing, multiple times just to be sure. And then this one, I'd also recommend getting close, shifting. Just because the message popped up doesn't mean it counts. I've seen people get the message and it not count, so watch out. This is the entrance to the first, I suppose, maze of the maze. Every floor will have you go up a ladder to the diagonal. There are 8 floors total. That's not true. The 5th floor will have you go up a ladder to the straight, but I'll go at a walking speed. If you need to slow down the video, I'd recommend that. And I haven't done this in about a month, so if I make a few mistakes, apologies, but it should still be significantly better than going on your own. Floor 1. I believe we are to go here. I was incorrect. Go back to the previous turn and go here instead. Floor 2. You can follow the F3 coordinates if you wish, although that would take quite a long time to get through. Yes. You can see through the glass to see the route sometimes, although it's not exactly reliable. I believe this is the floor where the ladder is not on the diagonal. Doesn't really matter if you're following the guide directly, but just as a note. I believe I have gone the incorrect way. Yes, you were meant to go here, and then to your left. Unfortunately, it's not perfect. It's just the nature of not doing it in quite a while. I believe we are meant to go down this line, over 2, over 1, across a bunch of diagonals, but not quite that many diagonals. Yes. The final 2 floors are very similar in layout. They will both have you go very far to the north or south walls, respectively. And they will also start with this loop. It's not exactly the same puzzle, but they are very similar. This is completely safe. There's barriers on all sides of you. There's no way to fall. This pressure plate maze is fake. You can simply walk through it. This pressure plate maze is real. Any block that does not have a string below it will teleport you back to the start. Any block that does have a string will not. There are several different exits. All of those are the fake ones. That one is the real one. I believe there's an Easter egg in some of these if you wish to go look at them, but we won't be doing that now. You want to follow the one toward the east wall. At the first fork, turn right. At the second fork, go forward. I'd recommend shifting across these if you're not experienced with them, which I am not after a month. At this fork, go forward. If I've been through here recently, the doors will basically lead you straight where you need to go. If not, the chords are 52, 195, 142. We want to go towards the southeast end to get a button. The actual exit is that way, but we need a button. Since these buttons are permanent, I do not go this way very often, so it may take me a second to get through. Just go toward the east wall first, and then the south wall. You'll reach the east wall when you know the wall has a different color on it, the same color as the floor. And you will reach this button. I suppose there's probably a better way to reach the exit once you've reached the button, but unfortunately I do not know it because the buttons are permanent, so I'd start from the entrance, so we're going to go back to the entrance instead. The entrance is just the center of the room, so attempt to get your way there. You'll see light. From here, we basically want to head due south and a little bit west. And anytime you cannot turn south, turn west, essentially. You'll eventually reach a place with a coal block as the floor instead of a normal block. You want to go up that ladder. It is at 50, 203, 183. There are 2 buttons in these archery rooms, so go through them slowly. Do /kit maze to get a bow and arrows. This first one is simple, simply shoot the target. There shouldn't need to be any weird angling. This second one is fairly easy too. If you need an angle, I'd say like 5.5. There's a button in this corner. This one is typically closer to 6.5. And that's your coordinates in your F3. There will be another button right here. Sometimes difficult to click. I shoot these targets back to front. I don't think it actually matters. Shoot the one with the lamp on it for this one. This next one is the most difficult one. -6.5, perhaps? 6.5 is too much. Essentially, you just have to shoot till you get it, but if you can get an angle, yeah, negative 4.3 seemed to work. This target is fake. You want to shoot this target, however, before you head to the next room, know that when you fall down the hole in the next room, do not head to the room after it until you click a button which is located in that room. So you want to fall down this hole, and click this button to get the next button. If you head into this room beforehand, you will lose all your progress. The same is true for a room right after this room, so after exiting this room, be going. For this, once you get teleported, simply hold the A and S keys and you will escape. Right outside the exit, there will be a button. Again, if you miss it, you will have to go through this entire portion of the maze again. Go forward, head into this room. 195, 188 is our first coordinates. There is a button in this room located at 105, 177, 178. Or apologies, I may have that incorrect. 187, 199. Yes, the button is this one. And the actual exit to this room is simply this 202, 200 corner. Simply stand here. It's a proximity thing. 190, 200 will be the next button. 189. Oh, apologies. 189, 198. I read my thing wrong. Next, facing the south wall, there will be a lever that you can flick for a button. One lever off. It's this lever. I'd flick it at multiple angles just to be sure. And then the lever to escape this room is here. The coordinates for that one were the east wall, the fourth lever down. This puzzle is probably my favorite in the entire maze, and I would recommend trying to solve it yourself before taking the tutorial way out. There is a hint on this button in the wall. The hint will lead you over to this corner where you will see glowing redstone lamps. The left lamp is associated with the left lever, and so on. So currently, the left lamp is correct. All 5 levers are correct besides the last one. So if I flick the last one, the door will open. That combination is randomized. You will have to look at the levers each time. Look at the lamps each time. There will be a button in the corner of this vault. This part is simply heading southeast over and over again. I believe the chords are 11, 38, 383. It will also contain the final button. Simply click this button, and you will have acquired all 12 keys, which allows you to skip a parkour. Not this parkour, however. This parkour, to my knowledge, is unskippable. It only contains a single 4-block jump, though, so it shouldn't be that difficult. On this parkour, you can either skip it, you can either do it, or you can come over here to the exact center of the earth, drop down onto a barrier block bridge, and simply walk forward. Barriers end over here. The parkour will take you to the exact same spot, it's just more difficult. This was not what the keys were for, as a note. This part is simple another swimming to the destination. You can get Dolphin's Grace 3 here to help your swimming. And we'll simply be swimming in the southwest direction. Swimming is significantly faster when you're side swimming, just as a note for meters per second. Can't want to go into this pipe without getting trapped by the soul sand. Then simply go up this ladder. Next to soul sand parkour, you can simply try to do it. Or alternatively, you can abuse the fact that soul sand doesn't work at its very edges. Shift to the edge of the soul sand and jump. Probably will take you a couple times anyway, but it shouldn't take you too long if you're using the shift to the soul sand's edge and jump method. Except you have to jump, which I am not currently accomplishing. There we go. So yeah, that's that jump. There's a checkpoint here, which you can use to get back to this area at any time. There was also one before the buttons, but that one you're guaranteed to get. This is the skippable parkour. You can either attempt to do that parkour, which has several fairly hard jumps, although near the second half it becomes significantly easier. Once you've gotten past this fence jump up here. Again, diagonal swimming is significantly faster. I believe diagonal running is also faster, but I could be wrong on that point. And it's also significantly less than swimming. In this hut, if you have successfully gathered all 12 keys, you will be allowed to skip the puzzle. If you have not successfully gathered all 12 keys, or one of the keys that you pressed did not register, unfortunately you will either have to go through the maze again, get the keys that you didn't get properly, or you will have to do that parkour. Either way, you will lead to the same destination. This top layer is completely randomized. When you fall down this trapdoor pit, the top layer will reset into a randomized spot. Unfortunately, I cannot give you Coords to this if it's not already open. However, this one is already open. In preparation. I would prefer if you guys slid down the side of these because it would prevent the parkour from randomization, but that's probably too much to ask. If you only hit the hooks and you don't hit the string itself, it won't actually re-randomize that top part. So from here you want to go to 756, 770. Then 773, 812. Then 760, 761. 748, 819. And then also 748, 819. That was a very fun tunnel. Step on the pressure plate. You'll head to this very nice looking area. Get onto the path of the gold blocks, or lamps, I suppose. Head across the bridge. Head through the woods back onto the next path. And you will reach this house in the middle of the area. Or, I suppose, like, chapel. You want to drop down onto y equals 64. I missed. If you miss, you have to go all the way down and press a button. It will reset you back up to the top. If you reach y equals 164, simply go to the north entrance. Diagonal crawling is even faster than diagonal swimming is. You want negative 45 and 135 degree angles, ideally, obviously. And that was the last puzzle of the maze. Once you are here, simply head forward and obtain your reward. This button will present you with your reward when you click it for the first time. If you keep heading forward after the button, you will uncover a... I suppose it's an old spawn building, isn't it? The point is it will have points to all 3 of the older mazes. Unfortunately, while you can enter them, you can't get very far in them as they are currently broken. They do not appear to spawn. They do not appear to allow you to interact with objects that you would need to, so unfortunately all you can do is view the first couple parts, but that is the end of Maze 4.0.